Violent conflicts have increased globally during the last decade, causing massive forced displacement. There are many reasons for this: climate change, migration, inequality, and violent extremism. The COVID-19 pandemic has intensified such problems. Since 2008, the State and Peacebuilding Fund, or SPF, has addressed these challenges in 64 countries, making 259 grants worth $313 million. Its agile, demand-driven, and flexible approach tackles the root causes and impacts of fragility, conflict, and violence, and acts as a catalyst for innovation. In Nepal, survivors of domestic violence are finding shelter, child protection, legal aid, and mental health support through a 24/7 government hotline supported by the SPF. The hotline has provided close to 15,000 services to nearly 25,000 survivors. The Lake Chad region and Sudan both face armed conflict and shrinking resources like arable land and water, causing the displacement of millions of refugees. SPF helps strengthen community resilience, manage scarce resources sustainably, build livelihoods, and prevent conflict. In Ukraine, internally displaced persons and veterans are receiving physical and mental health care at a district-level facility, fully renovated with SPF funds. In Lebanon, after a devastating explosion in the port of Beirut, a rapid disaster and needs assessment estimated the damage, losses, and needs of the city and its citizens. This allowed partners to start helping Beirut build back better. While in Zimbabwe, which is not eligible for regular World Bank support, the SPF helped strengthen the government's response to Cyclone Idai and its disaster preparedness capacity. In Peru and Colombia, COVID-19 has stressed the national health systems. The Venezuelan migrant and refugee populations are significantly and disproportionately impacted. SPF support will provide emergency cash transfers to vulnerable Venezuelans working with international partners. The SPF has also supported risk monitoring and better crisis preparedness through analytics, from agriculture and food security to governance and mining. Looking ahead, the SPF will enhance and expand its support, aligned with the World Bank Group's work on fragility, conflict, and violence. It will focus on conflict prevention, disaster preparedness and recovery, interpersonal violence, food insecurity, youth, access to justice, and climate change. Using an inclusive and gender-sensitive lens, expanding the frontiers of knowledge and operations, and working in partnership to build stronger and more resilient people, communities, and countries.